What's going on, man? Top of the week.
Top of the week, sir. Got some good stuff this week.
Yes, indeed. Got a lot of good stuff. Let's start with the bad stuff, man. I messed around and hurt myself doing a crate challenge. That's crazy, right?
I've seen that.
No, I didn't hurt myself. I didn't even attempt it. But man, much condolences to the people out there that are trying this challenge. I'm not sure what's going on, but folks feel a need to just fall 10, 15 feet from the sky nowadays. On 2021 is different. But
These people need something to do to lighten it up. I actually like it. I don't like people getting hurt, but I remember the ALS challenge. What was that? That was like 10 years ago.
You did that?
Right. The ice bucket challenge. Yeah.
You did that?
Yeah.
Oh man, really? You caught it on camera?
Yeah.
Can we cut to it?
Somewhere. No, you can't cut to it. I was a lot bigger in those days. I was lifting a lot. So I'm like massive in that video.
Yeah, man.
But don't cut to it.
Okay, don't cut to it. All right. Well, let's cut to the chase then. We got an article that talks about ASAP Ferg and Snapple shared capsule collection and short film celebrating NYC's bodegas. All right, so this article is highlighted because there's a good part about this, and then there's a challenging part about this that I want to highlight personally. All right, so good part about it, man, come on, man. We got a huge corporation such as Snapple coming alongside ASAP Ferg, somebody in the urban community, a hip-hop artist, and, to some extent, kind of raising awareness about, cool stuff in the African-American culture, celebrating the culture. The challenging part is, man, it seems like as hip hop has risen to its prominence and dominant position in the music industry, we sure have gained a whole lot of
market share.
Yeah, market share. Yeah, and cosigns from a lot of these larger corporations. And I've been walking around calling it the gentrification of hip hop. Now, we have a episode today where we share some opposing views, and we're going to kind of go back and forth a little bit about, my point and why I stand on that, and Mr. Nathaniel's input on that. So
that's my first thing. It's on the About page, so they know it's my first thing.
I exposed him real quick, Mr. Nathaniel.
Yeah. First of all, that's when you say we, I'll be clear, he's mentioning himself.
Yes.
That we, of course, I like hip hop. I like, a lot of different genres. But I don't it's just not a we for me there. A we for me is like all of the music industry at this point, because I've literally heard tens of thousands of songs. I was doing all the promo before I brought in everybody. So obviously at this point, you guys have heard tens of thousands of songs.
For sure.
But yeah, man, I've heard, I study everything too much to self-select into that category.
Okay.
I'll just say that caveat.
Okay. The reason I think that, it is a little bit different in, modern day context with just how much collaboration is going on between hip hop and corporate America is because, even, when we, in our origins in the 80s, we've always had some type of, cosign going on, Run DMC, Adidas, that's the biggest one that I know of. But, it just, and I want to hear your thoughts on this particular point. It just seems to me that a lot of times when hip hop wants to have a voice at the table as it regards to matters in society, socio-political matters and commentary, we don't get as much of a cosign. But when it comes to us,
Such as when?
Such as what now?
Such as when?
Such as when? I think a better question would be, such as when do we?
No, you say we don't get. So name one specific example.
One specific example of, okay, so let's take a look at, George Floyd's.
Okay.
So how many times were we able to point to a corporation that has stepped in, such as, I don't know, a Nike? You get a lot of market share from a Nike, that doesn't just come alongside us when we're talking about a lot of the deathly notions that we put out there, like the getting drunk and the materialism, the violence, criminality, and all of that stuff. They know that we're going to be pretty stereotypical as it relates to that, and they're cool with coming alongside us in those regards. But when it's time for us to speak up about these other matters that really affect the Black community and are killing the Black community, I don't see as much of a collaborative effort to help support us in that vein. So do you have like a Nike, for example, statements that kind of...
Nike chose a very controversial side by backing Colin Kaepernick.
Colin Kaepernick.
So they did choose a side there.
Yeah.
And, previously, you have to remember these are corporations. Name one other corporation who is putting significant dollars behind KRS-One or Rakim or, those types of things. Mm-hmm. So I would not personally isolate this to try and find some way to pit corporate America against hip hop in that vein. But across the board, you have different companies who stand for different things. Mm-hmm. So Nike would come out and say whatever they want. They don't represent corporate America at large. Clearly, they didn't have every single person agree on every single thing. So when you say corporate America, you have to remember that there's a human being who is the CEO of XYZ company. And there's another human being who's the CTO. And another human being who's the CFO.
Facts.
Okay, so it's not just corporate America. People kind of say that term as if it's this ominous entity out there in space and not an individual person who's more so speaking for a company. So in that vein, no, I can't say across the board that corporate America is doing X, Y, Z. I can say I see a lot of people in corporate America, or I see that Spotify is directly promoting these X, Y, Z songs as a corporation. They are doing this. I can say Nike as a corporation in totality is doing this. There still might be some people in Nike who disagree that work there, but across the board to span that across corporate America?
I think that would be very unfair. That's not what my objective here is, not to do that. I think that when we talk about the numbers outweighing the people who are in support of us in those trying times, and actually are vocally and even in their marketing are supportive of us as it relates to like what, politically, like what is the important stuff to highlight. Those people I think are far less than the people that have their other imposing agendas. So I'll challenge you and anybody else who would say you legitimately feel that way. I'm not saying you're wrong for feeling that way. I'm saying that. Do you have hard data? Do you have hard facts to say that here's why I feel this way? So when you say at large, I don't feel like these corporations do this. Can you go back and look and see what they did? They will have specific examples a lot of the time because they like to just put that out there. Yeah.
I think we talked about it before. It might be, hey, we donated $1 million to XYZ.
Right.
During that time, it might have been over $1 billion, but it was definitely millions of dollars flew into the organization Black Lives Matter, which obviously has its controversies within that organization, not the slogan. The organization itself has issues that a lot of Black people are like, no, I'm not really
rocking with it. Nope.
So even in that, like when they would try to do something, I say this because I get that viewpoint now, since I would be like running a corporation, a small one, but running one, is that even if you put that out, if it doesn't catch your ear or you don't happen to see the ad or whatever, then your perception is, oh, they did this or they didn't do this, when they might have actually did. Maybe they didn't spend $50 million on the marketing budget, but they spent $5 million or they spent 1 million to like get this message out there. I mean, there was ads from.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'll finish one thought. I think there was ads from like it was Uber or something that said it was on a billboard, and it was like if you stand for racism, Uber doesn't like you. Or like, it was something to that effect.
Yeah.
Like spending money like that. In essence, what is that going to do?
Yeah.
Like. To me, the solution has and always will be treat people based on receive people, promote people, like encourage people based on the content of their character, not the color of their skin. So when you actually do that across the board, which people like, if you actually examine how you live your life, do you actually do that across the board? No. Most people, it's not.
No.
It's really not. But people would like to refer to their group as, hey, here's our group. I want to promote our group first.
Yeah.
Versus saying, well, my primary group is human being above this group. So if I want other people to act that way towards me, why wouldn't I just act that way towards other people and be that example first?
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times people hold on to, hey, here's this thing that happened in the past, or here's this thing that happened last week, or, I still keep seeing these things. Well, the thing that's going to break it, if you wanted that other person to act towards you in a way that just judge you off the content of your character, then just do that to everybody else.
Yeah.
Like you can go do that. Nobody has to give you permission to go do that.
Yeah.
I think a lot of times people ask for permission from higher ups or corporations that, hey, we need your help to go do X. Like, you can go do X, Y, Z. You don't have to ask anybody.
100%.
So that's my finishing thought.
You kind of addressed what I was gonna speak up on, but I guess my last thought would be this: you as a business owner, if you knew X amount of dollars or marketing dollars ad spend would get your message to X amount of people, would you be okay if your message stayed in this physical room instead of being able to get out to everybody out there? And for example, in this building, if you offended somebody in this building and you knew that the response that you had needed to be heard, but it just stayed in this room because you only had X amount of resources to put behind it, would you consider that message communicated?
I don't think that's apples to apples. I think that is a simplification because when you have TV ads, you have Facebook ads, Instagram ads, like you have all these ads. I talked about a billboard ad from Uber. Like, who still gets billboard ads? Only big companies typically. So would I just endlessly put out a humanitarian message when I'm not a 501c3? No, I wouldn't.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, I'm still a for-profit organization.
Right.
My ads need to sustain not only my family, all the families that are supported by my business. So I'm not talking about people reacting negatively to the ads. I'm talking about not getting an ROI at all.
I got you.
From the ads. That's not good business practice.
Yeah.
That sounds nice.
Yeah.
You'll go broke really quickly. And all those people who loved your message, when they see your bad business practice, they're not going to suddenly donate because you didn't know how to handle your money. No, I wouldn't put out a message like that without the marketing budget, like to just throw it down the line like that. No, I'm not doing it. I see how many ads politicians run, and they keep asking you to donate to their campaign, to keep running this ad. I've seen this ad 15 times. You guys can cut off your impressions on YouTube, and you don't even know how to do that inside of YouTube ads. Why am I giving you more money? Like, no, I'm not.
I was going to say, well, the brand damage could cost you, but if you're not the organization that hurled the insult or whatever it may be, then that's probably not going to be much of your concern anyway. So I understand what you're saying. I definitely get it. But yeah, I think it was worth the conversation for sure. That's all I got.